as a consumer, when I'm going to the store, how do I know? How do I know what's genetically modified or not when it comes to, you know, any of the cereals or even the produce or the meats, any of the foods that we buy?
We have non-GMOshoppingguide.com to help people. And on that site, we describe 4 tips. 1, buy organic. They're not allowed to intentionally use GMOs. 2, buy products that are labeled non-GMO, particularly the Non-GMO Project Verified label. 3, avoid the at-risk ingredients, which are listed in the shopping guide. There are 9 genetically modified food crops: soy, corn, cottonseed oil, canola oil, sugar from sugar beets. There's alfalfa used as hay for animals. There's some zucchini, crookneck squash, and papaya from China or Hawaii. Those are the only GM food crops right now.